Welcome back to the EJ Ward FieldView training series. In this video, we're going to be going over the alerts and alarms folder. So to start out, we need to drop down the alerts and alarms folder. And here we have a couple different options we can go to. So the first one that we have is Watchdogs. And Watchdogs actually has to do with what's shown here on the communication services down here on the left-hand side of the at-a-glance screen. So if we click into Watchdogs, we're going to go ahead and see either a list of servers or just one server. Most customers are only going to see one, and this is just a machine name, which is a server that's actually running the Watchdog itself. What the Watchdog is it's a service that watches all the other services to make sure that they're online and tries to keep them online if they go down. If they were to end up crashing or somebody were to turn them off, it would turn them right back on. So if you click on the machine name, it'll pull up with the list of the machine name, the listener port, the maximum service resets, which is how many times it's going to try to reset the service, and then the service reset time limit, so it's the time limit in how long it's going to try. So you have it's going to try 5 times within 30 minutes. If that does not happen, then the Watchdog will actually stop looking at that service, and it will turn that service and show a red arrow and say that it's down inside of the at-a-glance screen, so you'll know to actually take a look. Underneath that, we have the service monitors. So these are all the different services that could be installed and that might be installed in your system. So we have WardCom, Ward Process Transaction, the Online Listener, the CanCeiver Listener, the Event Parser, the Scheduled Task Service, the FieldView, and the Ward API. The Ward API and FieldView are used to host FieldView itself, as well as talk back and forth to the Ward IoT terminals and some of our other programs and services. Our scheduled task service deals with all of the emails that go on back and forth throughout the server itself, as well as inside of FieldView, all of the schedules that you might have for alerts or for reports. We have our event parser, which takes all the events from the Ward 4 CanCeiver and it puts them into plain English for us and puts them into the system. We have the CanCeiver listener, which takes the raw files from the CanCeiver themselves and puts them into the parser. We have an online listener that grabs all the information that's from the Ward 4 terminals and it puts that into the Ward Process Transaction, which the Ward Process Transaction takes all those raw files and converts them into plain English or human readable information for the transactions and puts it into the system. WardCom is the service that you use to actually talk to the terminal from the website. So whenever we do a request terminal call with our Ward 3 or our Ward 4 FCTs, WardCom is the one that's actually doing it. So we have an active checkbox on the left-hand side, and that means that you're actively following this and it's actively looking at it. And then on the right-hand side, we have if it's installed or not. Now, I can uncheck the active checkbox, and I don't want to do that with any of my services. But on the right-hand side, I can't change this because it's automatically detected and set up. I have all of these installed. And my FieldView is not showing because I don't have a couple of settings in the background. It's not a typical FieldView for me. And then we have the Ward API, which I do not have installed on the system because we don't have any hardware to talk to it. So if you wanted to change any of this, you can. So here I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the Ward API. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck FieldView as well because I'm not looking at the correct configuration that I need to have set up. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And once that's saved, it's going to take those away from the first screen, the at-a-glance screen. Now, the Ward API doesn't show in the at-a-glance screen because it's a background service, but all these other services will actually show in the at-a-glance screen. If I ever want to change it, I just need to come back into the Watchdog menu, and I can change this up and save it, and it'll change it in the front screen as well. The one thing I didn't mention before is the alert listener port. This is the port that it's actually listening on between all the other services. And your Watchdog is actually going to be installed on the same server as all of the other services. So it doesn't matter if that port's open or not because it's just within that server itself. So we're going to go ahead and close this. And next we're going to show alert settings. And this one I'm going to go into a little bit deeper into another video. And this one is where we can set up all these alerts that get sent out to us through emails or through a text message when something happens inside of the system. So we'll go through that in another video. We have our alert history, and our alert history is going to show us all those different alerts from the alert settings and when they went out, how many issues there were, if it did find issues, and who did it send it to. The next one that we have is service alerts, and these are all the different services that can have alerts. So it's not an alert for the services right now, but it's just the service itself. So if we click into WARDCOM, what it's going to give us is the name of the service, and then it shows an actual service name. So we can change these if we want to. The service alert users, we can add a user here to actually be alerted when the service goes down. So we can click on add user. So after I click add user, this pop-up box comes up. I have a drop down, and then I have two check boxes. One checkbox is send text message and the other one is send email. But first I want to select my user. So if I drop down and select my user, the send text message box goes away because I don't have my mobile phone number and everything set up inside of my user. If it was set up inside my user, I would have both those check boxes to choose from, but I just have one, so I'm going to go ahead and click on send email. That's already been checked. I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. After that's set up, it has my username, the email notification if it's there, a text notification. I have it false because I don't have my phone number set up. It shows the email it's going to be going to, and then I can pick the log level. So I can pick warnings, critical only, informational, or no alerts. So I'm going to go ahead and click on critical only. So anytime it actually critically fails, it's going to send me an email, and then I'll know to actually go look at the system so I can see and check out that service. After you're done, you can add as many users as you want, and when you're done, you can go ahead and click on save. Once that's been saved, you can come back. You can hit the delete button to actually delete that user off of there, and there'll be one next to each user that you add, or you can add more users anytime you wish. The last one that we have is the service alerts history, and this is showing when the services stop. This doesn't matter if it's going out to somebody or not. It's always going to show if a service stops for whatever reason. This could be that we have an update to FieldView itself, so when you update FieldView, you have to stop all the services, update everything, and then start them all again. So we might have had an update around this time. It's going to give us the monitored service that was having the issue. It's going to give us the watchdog machine it came from. It's going to give us the log level, the time, and then the message at the very end. So you can see we had all these services stop at 3/26/2019 at 1:47 p.m. We can go through all these logs. You can sort it just like any other page that we have. And that's really it for the alerts in the alarms folder. The next video, we're going to be going over the alert settings, which is stuff that happens inside of the system with your pumps, your tanks, your terminals, and your vehicles, your transactions, and we'll be going through all the different settings and what they mean. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.